Billy and Bobby don't cheat?
Billy and Bobby got a bag. I'd rather cry in the Rolls Royce. I don't give a damn.
So you accept cheating from a white man because he's rich, but not a rich black man? Describe. Let's talk about it.
Black men in New York, they're very questionable. Once a black woman gets to the point where they date a white man, it's because she's had it up to here with black men.
I can agree.
So what you mean they questionable though?
Cheaters, I guess because
Bobby don't
of
cheat?
how these...
Billy and Bobby don't cheat?
Billy and Bobby got a bag. I'd rather cry in the Rolls Royce. I don't give a damn. It is what it is.
Rich, then you guys will accept.
To an extent.
But it makes it better. We talking about money, right? So she's dated rich black men. And what do rich black men do?
Y'all just said if the white man did it, it was okay.
Because he white, who give a damn?
It's about the
That's
quality
the
of
problem.
man.
I think one day we'll be able to put this one to bed to understand this, and it's a very simple idea. The white man are going to still do you the same way black people do you. Men are going to do you the same way. Women are going to do you the same way. Just because you have a different melanin content or you have a different ancestry, if you could actually get into the weeds and talk to people about in those cultures, they say, yeah, it still happens. And it's not as if it's a secret, right? This is a weird form of ignorance that we can't seem to let go of. Just in the Coldplay concert, you have these two couples, and it's happening on every level. Society is filled with the truth. It happens all the time. White men are stepping out in relationships. White women are stepping out in relationships. When we elevate these other races because we think somehow it's better, you're just insulting your own intelligence, right? And this is genderless. This is absolutely genderless. If you think somehow, hey, this white woman's not going to do me better, is it going to do me the same way? No, if the opportunity presents itself and that's within a character, she's going to do that. These are things that you can't stop. You're trying to minimize the chances of it happening. I get that when you go to different cultures and they have a different way of treating their men and women. Cool. But like always, we say, if you're going to leave. We don't have a problem with that. Just shut the door quietly on your way out. You don't have to turn back and say, and disparaging things. We're never going to be fans of that. Before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still trying to go strong, still trying to do 2 days, still trying to demonstrate that discipline. We're going to go over, teach you guys how to protect the brand. So for now, we got merch in the store, so hype the video and share the video. So look, we know that the disparity here, right? And I think it's one of the things that annoys me when we constantly try to look at men when they date interracially and decry them and say they're bad, they're evil, look at this. But then when women do it, it's because they're fed up. It's because they're fed up. As if the same reasoning couldn't exist for black men. I'm kind of fed up with this. I'm kind of fed up how I'm being treated here, so I'm deciding I'm going to do something else elsewhere. You don't have the patent on a reason saying, hey, this is kind of trash, I'm going to try something else. Everyone can try that. Everyone's open to do that. You don't get to criticize men when they do something like that. But when you dig through the weeds a little bit, what you would allow a white man to do because you perceive that as a better option, as a better choice, even though, again, men know it's the very same thing. You just are more tolerant of someone that's not black. Again, this is the same thing you will very quickly accuse men of being, that you give these people chances, but you don't do this to your black women. Okay, let's hold that and say that's true. You do the same thing. You think that they're incapable of treating you certain ways. But when you look at the data, when you look at objectively, you're just in the same amount of danger. It happens. Hey, Ashley Janae, that we're sitting there trying to wait on more and more information. Stuff like this happens. It doesn't mean, okay, it's automatically going to be better. Because he's rich, it means it's something different than being with a black man that's rich. But when it comes down to, what is it? Is it down to the race or is it down to money? Because whenever we see stuff like this happen, right, again, we're going to use Ashley Janae, the fact that your family had to use a GoFundMe, the fact that you have all these Instagram photos, all these ops of you being in a helicopter, private jet. But now when it comes down to it, did she die broke? Was she murdered? Is it suicide? We don't know the details, but what we do know, a lot of this is just simply lifestyle. Because someone has a bag, because a white man has money, does not mean inherently you're going to be the beneficiary of that. Because a black man has money does not mean you're automatically going to be the beneficiary of that. That's not how the game works. Until you prove your own value to these people, to men, we're not just going to open the keys to the kingdom. You're not going to be backstroking in our mind that's full of gold pieces. You don't get that opportunity until you mean something to us. But when you think about that, it's somehow just going to be better because he's white. You ignore that you don't know these people. You don't know how white people are. And I mean it in the generalist sense. You don't know the manners. You don't know the history. You don't know the customs, because the thing that you take for granted growing up around, what's normal to you, how someone reacts, how they take X, Y, and Z, the jokes, the inside jokes, all this stuff is what you were born with, what you were raised with in your own culture. When you want to cross over, and again, it's very fine for you to do that. Absolutely fine for you to do that. You don't know these things, but we make the assumption that another race is going to be the Messiah. Another race is going to be the Savior. They're going to come and solve all their inherent problems. And we do it in a disparaging way to black men, and saying, she just got fed up. So she went over there and it just is readily available. Here we are. But again, we like to, sprinkle in some truth and some nuance in the conversations. That's not happening in any appreciable high amount, where it's just as simple. I'm going to go over here and find a white man who is also going to be rich. It's not the stories. It's not the romance books. It's not the smut books that you so enjoy reading. This is real life. When men, especially men that have had to work for their money, or they're inheritors of said money, their family has a large say, their social circle has a large say in their lifestyle. It doesn't mean that you don't see it happening, but you latch on to the one or two examples that you know of, and you think this is just available. If it was, why is it not happening in mass? The fact is, the higher up you go in terms of income, in terms of money, in terms of wealth, you get race loyal. You get race loyal. So they're looking to do the same thing with their race. Asians are looking to do the same thing with the race. Blacks will do the same thing with race. That's how we are. You're not just going to hop across the state line and say, here I am, come take me. You have takers, but you're still going to struggle in the same ways that you would struggle in any other relationship. When we're not fans of decrying and telling people you can't do this, but go in there with your eyes wide open and know that just because that person's a different color than you are does not automatically guarantee your life is just going to be better. You are fed up with dealing with black men. You didn't take the time to say, do you think if I get with white men in the same amount, they could end up fed up with me as well, because I have not worked on the things that made some people fed up? That's a healthier way of looking at it. If you think because I've dated these black men and now it hasn't worked out, now I should be exclusive to this. Okay, that's fine. Let black men do that too in the same amount of peace. Let them do the very same thing. When they leave and say, yo, I tried it, I fed up, it didn't work out. Yo, but your mama black. Yeah, despite that fact, right? Despite that fact, I'm still over here. I'm still going to do what I want to do. It's my life. Let me sort of lead it the same way you want to be given grace when a black woman leaves. It's one of the, I don't want to say the highest form of hypocrisy, but it gets tiring to hear. It gets tiring to sit there and continually trying to talk and defend it and say, why is it fine when you do it, but when black men do it, it's a problem? Why do you make the assumption that just because you're going to get with him, you can be crying in a Bentley? How many white people do you know are, when you look at the data, they're out earning black men? Absolutely. Asians are killing them as well. That doesn't mean that it's significantly like your life is going to be better. It's not. That doesn't mean that you're going to get with him, he's not going to cheat. But it does mean you're more accepting of it when he does it, because we inherently have this fascination with holding them, putting them on a higher pedestal, when you should just look at everyone like humans. You should look at everyone and say, what's your character? How do you treat me? How is being in a relationship with you? What are your relations with those around you? We should just go back to looking and examining that character first before anything else. But again, I could be wrong. Right? Let me know down in the comments. If you see other videos on the screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos, of course. And if you listen to my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. You're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.